Your Honor, I guess what Steve Papoulos and Bobby Marino started a few years ago when they contacted the auditor's office ends today. Today, Your Honor, is the day that justice is going to be served to the city of Niles specifically and to the community generally. Today is the day, Your Honor, that we are asking you to punish this defendant for 20 years of criminal activity. And not only to punish him, but to deter others in this community who may also weakenly consider the same path that the defendant took. Now, Your Honor, the defendant, as you know, was mayor for 24 years. I think it's important to point out that as the city of Niles slipped into decline and as revenues fell and the city fell into economic distress, the defendant was hiding his income from the city so that he wouldn't have to pay it. And the jury told the world that when they found the defendant guilty of falsifying his city income taxes. Your Honor, the mayor is as you know, is the face of the community. He is the moral leader of the community. He is the standard of the community. Being mayor is more than cutting ribbons at ceremonies and passing out candy at parades and waving to people and hosting chicken roasts. The mayor holds a fiduciary relationship, Your Honor, as you know, to those he governs, something the defendant, Your Honor, violated for years. Being mayor means that the person who sits behind the desk at City Hall holds a position of trust in the community. In this community, it was Niles. Also, the mayor is actually the chief law enforcement person in the community, and he's obligated to protect his community from corruption, from theft, and from assets being siphoned off by city employees. See, the assets of the city, whether it be a fire hydrant, a car, or a truck, they don't belong to the mayor, they don't belong to city council. They belong to the people who live in that city. They belong to the city of the residents of the city of Niles. The mayor also, Your Honor, cannot use his relationship with the city to allow criminal activity to occur, much less to be a part of it. His elective office should be used to protect the coffers of a city, to prevent crimes from occurring within the city. It goes without saying that the mayor should not be involved with a criminal enterprise. But Your Honor, that's the defendant's legacy. That's the legacy that he's leaving, his involvement in a criminal enterprise. And rather than using his position of trust to benefit the people of Niles, he abused it. Rather than protect the people of Niles and the Niles budget from theft and corruption, he stole from it. He used his position, Your Honor, to allow theft to occur. Yeah, go ahead and use a city truck at your mom's house, just don't wreck it. That was trial testimony. He received the scrap proceeds, and according to Chuck Nader, the auditor, there's no record that the mayor ever turned those proceeds in. And Your Honor, his conduct was all part of a criminal enterprise that lasted a couple decades. On the criminal enterprise count, Your Honor, there is no nonviolent offense that's more serious than engaging in pattern of corrupt activity. It's a felony of the first degree. And Your Honor, with that, there's special sanctions that come with that. And the state, Your Honor, would ask that the court impose some of those special sanctions. The first one, Your Honor, being the cost of prosecution. I will present the court with State's Exhibit 4, which is the cost of prosecuting this case as calculated by the Ohio Attorney General's office. The amount being $11,913.12. That's $11,913.12. And that has to do with the per diems of myself, Mallory Nafsker, and Prosecutor Lee Baer, as well as the hotel stays of Prosecutor Lee Baer and Mallory Nafsker. I do not stay in a hotel. I stay with my mother. Your Honor, I'll present State's Exhibit 4 for that.
And is counsel saying
he has a copy of it.
I do have a copy.
Secondly, Your Honor, the State Auditor's Office has prepared its cost of prosecution, and those costs The sum is $39,245.20. This does not include the cost of agents Rudy or Spear. This is the cost of Auditor Yoder, Auditor Strickland, and other auditors. And I'll present that to you as State's Exhibit 2.
The cost for the investigation of this?
Yes, yes, from the state auditors, from the state auditor's office.
Again, the defense counsel has seen these documents?
He has a copy, Your Honor. Your Honor, the total cost of prosecution that we're asking you to impose upon this defendant is $51,158.32. Your Honor, in addition, with regards to the theft in office count the defendant was convicted of, it's a felony of the 5th degree. A theft in office, when it's a felony of the 4th degree, starts at a $1,000 threshold. I think it's $1,000 to $5,000. Your Honor, the state would submit State's Exhibit 3 and ask the court to order restitution in the amount of $999 from the defendant to the city of Niles. And what this is, Your Honor, is scrap money that Scott Schaefer testified that he provided the defendant with after he sold city scrap at Metallico. Your Honor, the state obviously recognizes that for 62 years, the defendant did not have a prior record. I mean, that's well recognized, and we understand that. However, Your Honor, it's important to note that these crimes weren't just committed yesterday. This isn't the case of a 62-year-old man who decided to steal a car last week or last year, or at age 62 decide to rob a bank or turn to criminal activity. This person has been committing crimes, Your Honor, since George Herbert Walker Bush was president and Dan Quayle was vice president back in 1992. And a jury found such with the engaging pattern of corrupt activity count. Your Honor, the defendant caused harm to the city of Niles, economic harm to the city of Niles. Your Honor, City Hall is in pathetic shape. You've got mold, you've got a leaky roof, you got water stains on the walls, you've got plastic separating the employees from the mold. While this is going on, while City Hall and other parts of the city are falling in disrepair, the defendant is stealing money from the city. Your Honor, the defendant held public office. His office as the mayor obligated him to protect the city from these theft offenses occurring, to stop the stealing of the scrap money, to stop the misuse of city property, not to encourage it. A mayor, Your Honor, is obligated not to lie to the police. I understand that's a misdemeanor, but he still lied to Dean Hassman and Roy Spear about football tickets. His office, Your Honor, was used to facilitate these crimes. His relationship with the city also facilitated the crime. And as of today, Your Honor, he's shown no remorse for his conduct. Your Honor, you have a wide range of crimes here to deal with, as you know. Felonies of 1st degree, one of those, several felonies of the 3rd degree, one of the 4th degree, one of the 5th degree, and several misdemeanors. We've already asked the court, to merge. We've already asked the court, Your Honor, to merge the theft counts, the theft in office counts, into one, because they are allied offenses of similar import. Secondly, Your Honor, the gambling count, or the misdemeanor counts, the 4 gambling offenses and the falsification are misdemeanors, and we recognize obviously what the law is, that those sentences have to be concurrent with any felony sentences. Your Honor, the Mahoning Valley has a long history of hardworking people whose values and perseverance have allowed them to survive the exodus of mills, industries, causing a loss of thousands of jobs. Growing up here, Your Honor, I learned that firsthand. I witnessed it, I saw it. Unfortunately, Your Honor, we've also had our share of corruption, and it's time for that to end. It's time for it to end today. It's time to send a message to anyone who would want to engage in this type of activity that's not going to be tolerated, that it won't be permitted. And when it occurs, he or she who criminally betrays the public trust should go to prison. I think this is the first state corruption trial of its kind in this area that I can remember. And Your Honor, it should be the last. Because you should sentence this defendant to prison, and that prison sentence should be strong enough to deter other weak-minded people from following in the footsteps of this defendant. We're asking you, Judge, to send a message like you did in Athens County with Sheriff Kelly, that a message that is clear and understood from North Bloomfield to Girard, from Kinsman to Newton Falls, that there's no place for what this person did. There's no place in this community for him betraying the trust and the faith that the people had in him. Your Honor, I'm asking you, the state's asking you to send a message to the people who live in this community, to the Charles Logans and Audrey Levans and Frank Ryders of the community and the city of Niles, so that they know that their elected officials are not corrupt. They can have confidence in their elected officials, that they're honest and not corrupt. The law-abiding residents of this community, Your Honor, are looking to the criminal justice system to clean up corruption and to put an end to it. Because, Judge, as I conclude, corruption is a cancer that eats away at the citizens' faith in democracy and diminishes the instinct for innovation and creativity. Already, Your Honor, we have tight budgets. They're crowding out investments nationwide, citywide, and countywide. And corruption scares away, Your Honor, investments and jobs. And that's what he did, Your Honor. He was corrupt for 20 years. And, Your Honor, we're asking you to send the defendant to prison. We're asking you to send him to prison for 13 years. We're asking you to punish the defendant for engaging in the pattern of corrupt activity, and we're asking you to consecutively sentence him for other crimes, Your Honor, because no single prison sentence can adequately reflect the seriousness of what the defendant did, and are warranted to reflect his abuse of power for decades, and as the chief law enforcement officer of the city of Niles. We're asking you, Your Honor, for the cost of prosecution, for restitution to the city of Niles, and for court costs. Your Honor, in closing, we're asking you for a clear, strong message that this conduct will not be tolerated by the justice system. Thank you.